Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing you the final part of my best of 2023 series. Fragrance, nail color, little bits that didn't fit into either of the other two videos I did. Without further hesitation, let's get right into this video. Up first, let's cover the fragrances. That's what I have the most of in front of me. And I'm going to start off with two that I actually emptied this year. A little backstory. I have loved fragrance since forever. I mean, I've been wearing some type of fragrance since high school. It feels like throughout my 20s and into my early 30s, this is the first time I've really been able to appreciate fragrance. I mentioned earlier in the year, I was a smoker for many years and then I quit smoking. And then after I quit smoking, I began to be able to smell fragrances differently. And I've really taken on an appreciation for new fragrances, and the fragrances I like to wear have changed quite a bit. When I used to be a smoker, I liked quite heavy fragrances, and now a lot of the ones I used to love, I find a little heavy and a little too strong for me every day, so I tend to like a little bit of a lighter fragrance. First fragrance I finished off this year is an Unexpected Love, Lovely by Sarah Jessica Parker, and this is a clean, fresh, musky skin scent. This is a perfume I purchased at Shoppers Drug Mart. If you live in Ontario, you'll know that Shoppers Drug Mart. If you live in Ontario, you know Shoppers Drug Mart is a drugstore. And normally in front of the beauty section, there will be a discounted perfume end cap where there's normally fragrances that are $21.99. And this was a $21.99 fragrance. This is a 50 ml bottle. And oh my goodness, this kind of really launched me into my love of those fresh, out of the shower, skin scent, slightly powdery, musky scents. This is so beautiful. I love it. I want to repurchase it, but I do have Born Lovely in my collection in the US waiting on me. I've ordered Lovely You and Lovely Lights. I cannot wait to try them. I would eventually love to try all the different Lovely fragrances, and I ended up using this mostly as my bedtime scent. And the other fragrance I finished off was also a bedtime scent from The Body Shop. This is the White Musk Lover, and this is a small bottle. This is a 15 ml bottle. I believe it was around $15. I've heard so many great things about the classic White Musk from The Body Shop that's been around since the 90s, and I smelled it, and I have to say it was a little abrupt when I smelled it, so I ended up purchasing White Musk Lover, and this does have that signature White Musk DNA along with some fresh floral notes. And I will say, as I have used this and I've really kind of changed my palette over 2023, I have now added the original White Musk to my bucket list of things to try, because now that musky scent that is in the classic Body Shop White Musk, I really love. So once I finish up some of my other ones, that is when I would like to add to my collection. A fragrance that I have loved as an easy grab and go, and I always like to keep a fragrance in my bag so I can have it with me on the go and refresh as needed. In the warmer weather, I have loved by Rosie Jane's Rosy. This is a clean, musky scent. It's very much like a soapy musk. If I'm not mistaken, the notes listed for this are rose, musk, and jasmine. This is like a fresh from the shower, warm musk, slightly aquatic in the sense of almost it reminds me of my childhood and the Herbal Essence shampoo, the pink one that was really popular in the 90s. It smells like this, and I just love it. When it's hot and humid outside, this is just an easy spray on, and this is the second travel size I've been through, and I really love it so much. I should probably just get the regular size and refill this, but I've got a habit of buying the small one and popping it right in my bag for the warmer weather. I love that fragrance so much. While we're on the note of things that live in my bag, we have one that I still have the box for. Throughout this year, I have decided to start keeping some of the boxes of my products so that way I can store them, and that way they're extra dark when I keep them in my closet. I just feel like it helps to keep the juice good for a little bit longer because they preserve best when you keep them in a cool, dark environment. So I figure keeping in the original box gives it a little extra shade, even though it's in a dark closet. Maison Martin Margiela, and this is from the Replica range, and this is called On a Date. This is the second little vial of On a Date I've been through, and the first one of these I received was back in January this year. One of my really good friends who also also loves fragrances, and she's kind of the person who really got me into experiment with more niche fragrances. She gifted me this one for my birthday, and it's a really beautiful, slightly vintage smelling rose scent. It does have some of those powdery notes. It almost has like this quality that smells like a wine, which kind of makes sense when you put it all together. It does kind of smell like you're on like a cool weather date. It's so nice. It's a very romantic, comforting scent. And after this video, I'm going to put this back in my bag. Up next, I have another mini, and this is one I've been on the fence with purchasing the full size because I love it so much, but I feel like for me, the mini size or maybe the medium size, as large as I go, the full size bottle, I just feel like it will go bad before I can use it. But I love the fragrance, and this is kind of like my go-to party scent. It's a little too heavy for dinner, but before I get into any more details, let's talk about what the fragrance is. This is from Kayali, and this is called Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper 25. The large bottle is beautiful. It is this signature Kayali diamond shape, and it is this really beautiful kind of metallic hot pink shade. It's such a beautiful color, and I love this so much. It is so beautiful. It is more of like a heavy, slightly vanillic, sensual rose scent. For me, I've worn this during the day, and it feels overwhelming. Like when I wore this, we were out for brunch with one of my friends, and it was just a few weeks ago. I ran into the Santa parade traffic. Really beautiful, but during the day, for me, it feels like a little too much. But when I wear this for parties, this is great, and I find I can wear this in warm weather or cool weather as like a going out party scent. Now, when I say going out, that's like to a friend's house or to like a karaoke bar with friends. I'm not like a party person, but this is just really beautiful for an evening occasion. I don't go to a ton of things, so I feel like this small bottle will be good for me. I've had this for about 4 months now, and I've used this much of it, and this has been the only scent I wear when I go out in the evenings, and I guess that shows you how much I use that. So maybe in a full calendar year, I would go through a bottle of this. So for now, I'm going to stick with the mini size. I love so many different type of fragrances. My favorite category, and the category I look forward to the most every single day, is my bedtime scent. And I just love the ritual of coming out of the shower, choosing the perfect body lotion and applying that, laying it dry down, and then putting on my bedtime scent and misting a little bit on my pajamas. That way it can kind of linger with me and kind of comfort me as I drift off to sleep. And I found this such a crucial part of my sleep hygiene routine. It's all about building this luxurious, comforting experience. And just because it feels luxurious, I love that it doesn't need to be expensive. As I've said, the 2 bedtime fragrances I've loved this year, under $25 here in Canada, so a win-win. Both of the body lotions I love for bedtime are from Bath & Body Works. My kind of go-to, tried and true. I've loved this scent for years. This is Moonlight Path. This has notes of night blooming jasmine, blue violet, sheer lavender, lily of the valley, and a soft musk. This is very reminiscent of something like the Body Shop's White Musk, but it is more powdery. This does have a slightly vintage feeling. I adore this, and you can see I've definitely used quite a bit of this. A newer to me scent that I've fallen in love with, and I think it is one of the most beautiful scents, and it's great for daytime or evening wear because it layers so well with so many different products. This is also from Bath & Body Works. This is called Butterfly. Notes of raspberry nectar, iris petals, and airy vanilla. It reminds me so much of a MAC lipstick because the iris gives you a little bit of that powdery scent that you would associate with makeup, and then the vanilla reminds me of the signature vanilla scent that you would find in MAC lipstick, and then the raspberry adds the slightly sweet feminine touch. And a lot of the fragrances I like do lean slightly feminine, and I just find them comforting, and it's what makes me happy. And that's what fragrance does. Fragrance is here to make you happy and set like a mood for you. And for me, this is just so lovely. I can pair it with one of my nighttime scents to make things more comforting, or I can use it as a nice soft musky base for any of my daytime fragrances. I love this so much. And it's so fascinating because I have quite a collection of Bath & Body Works body creams, but of all of them, Moonlight Path and Butterfly are my two favorites. If you would like to see an overview of the Bath & Body Works collection I have, let me know in the comments down below because I will talk about that anytime you want to hear about it. Continuing on with my nighttime routine, after I apply my body cream, I like to mist a little bit of a body spray, and that will kind of linger on as I put in my hair products, finish up any skincare routines, and then I even like to put a little bit on my pajamas. And then once everything is fully dried down, that's when I'll apply my bedtime scent. So my bedtime routine is very layered and it's a lot of complimentary scents. My favorite body mist was actually a find on Amazon, and I believe this was like $13.50 when I purchased it. This is the Vera Wang Embrace Periwinkle and Iris. This is stunning. Again, that iris gives you a very soft, comforting note. This is very reminiscent to Butterfly from Bath & Body Works, but this does not have that slightly sweet note. This is a lot more of a soft, comforting scent, and I just find it layers so well with everything else. This is beautiful, and if you can find it for cheap on Amazon, I say try it out if you love soft, powdery, musky scents. And then I have two newer fragrances to my collection, and I am just smitten with them, and I'm excited to start using them in my evening routine. I'm going to end up keeping both of them out to use in my nighttime routine. They are both from the brand Solinotes. Here in Canada, they retail for $28 for 50 ml of product. Often at Shoppers Drug Mart, you can get them on sale for $21. That is a great price point for 50 ml of product. The two I have here, I have Fleur de Cotton and I have Fleur de Iris. Let's start with Fleur de Cotton because that's the first one to my collection. This is so beautiful. It is so comforting. It reminds me, I think I find Fleur de Cotton so comforting because it reminds me of my childhood. Like growing up, I was always the one who helped my mom fold laundry. And when I was little, my mom always used the Snuggle fabric softener and like the baby blue with the kind of bright pink lid. To me, Fleur de Cotton from Solinotes smells like Snuggle fabric softener. Is it the scent called April Fresh? I could be mistaken, but that's the first thing that pops to my mind. It's just a very clean, fresh, slightly powdery floral, and it's so, so comforting. I love this so, so much. And the other perfume I have from Solinotes is Fleur de Iris. This is really beautiful. I have smelled this one in store, and I was torn between this and Fleur de Cotton, but this smells so beautiful. It has a quality that's very reminiscent of another one I have that is much more expensive that we're going to talk about in a little bit, but this is just really beautiful. The iris scent is slightly powdered, but for me, when this is on the skin, it translates more as a luxurious body lotion. It's very creamy, slightly floral, slightly powdery, whereas something like Lovely by Sarah Jessica Parker dries down to much more of a powdery skin scent. This just gives something that is slightly enveloping. It's very reminiscent of two other fragrances I actually have. It's very cozy, very comforting, and there's something about the way this smells when it warms up on the skin, whether I apply it over a body lotion or not. It smells very luxurious and very comforting. Both of the ones I have from Solinotes are a out of the park great purchase for $21. The only downside with these, Fleur de Cotton lasts about 3 hours. This will get about 4 hours on the skin, but again, for that $20 price point, I feel like you can't go wrong. Let's talk about a fragrance that on sale, I think I spent around $25 US on this, and it's the largest size, and it's just brought me so much joy this year. Ari by Ariana Grande, if I'm not mistaken. This was Ariana Grande's first fragrance, and a lot of people know it for the cute like little puff ball. I have to say, reading the notes, like if I was on Fragrantic and I looked at the notes, this would have been something I just pass over. It is quite sweet, it's quite fruity, it's quite jovial, but it's so comforting. And like throughout this year, I decided to make a lot of changes in my life. Like for example, like quitting smoking, that was so hard. And then you start making other changes. And a lot of things, like there's just some days where when you're going through these changes to make things better, you have to cut out some things that necessarily aren't always the best for you. And like for me personally, I found that to be like a heavy like mental health toll. And this fragrance, it put me in such a good mood. It's like when I'm wearing this, It's definitely like something I only wear around the house because it doesn't have the best longevity. You get about 4 to 5 hours out of this. So midway through the day, you might need a refresher. But you know, if you're just hanging around the house, or maybe you just wake up and then you're gonna be like, oh, it's a day where I'm gonna stay in bed because that's what my mental health needs. I just need to take that time for myself and heal. This is such a great one. It's a little mood boost. It's fresh, it's sweet, it's not too heavy, it's not offensive. It's just like a little happiness in a bottle. And who cannot be happy when you see this cute like little pom-pom bottle? If you can find it on sale, I say go for it. This isn't something I would spend full price on. I purchased this on Amazon and I think I was able to get it for like 50% off. That is a huge win. I love this and it's happiness in a bottle and it's cute. The summer of 2023, I was looking for the perfect grab and go hot weather scent. I had a baby shower to go to in Virginia, here out and about in Toronto. It felt like this summer was extremely humid, extremely hot, very sticky, and it was just like prone to overheating. And I wanted a fragrance that would make me smell fresh, make me feel clean, but not feel heavy, not feel cloying, not feel sticky or too heavy. That is when I smelled Narciso Cristal from Narciso Rodriguez. I remember I smelled this at Hudson's Bay downtown. I remember we smelled this. I went over to Saks, walked around. I remember it's like, I need to go back and get this. So I ended up deciding to purchase this through Shoppers Drug Mart because I knew they had a point redemption event coming up. So I ordered this there and I loved it. It became like my summer signature scent because it's so fresh. I ended up buying the large size. It doesn't look like I've made a dent, but I have used a little bit. And I'm not a heavy perfume sprayer. Like 3 to 4 sprays is pretty much all I'll do, or else I can find it a little overwhelming. It's fresh, it's clean, it's a slightly aquatic, powdery rose. I remember when I watched Soki London's review, she described this as smelling like ballet class, and I never had ballet class. I wanted to be a ballerina, so that was one of the things I wanted to do so badly when I was little, and ever since I saw Soki say this smells like ballet, I'm like, I can see that, and that makes me love it a little bit more. It's like fresh, clean, uplifting. It's not too serious, it's not too childish. It's just that nice, everyday, cheerful scent. And I find all of my Narciso Rodriguez fragrances last really well. I have almost all of the current fragrances. I do not have all of Me, which is the newest release, and I do not have Narciso Amber. I don't have those two. They're on my list to check out in the new year, but for now, I love them, and this is one of my favorites for warmer weather. Continuing on with Narciso Rodriguez, I have to take a moment and talk about a fragrance I went through a full bottle of, and I had to buy another one because it's so good and it layers with everything incredibly well. From the Narciso Rodriguez For Her collection, and this is called Pure Musc. It comes in the white frosted bottle. At first, I was apprehensive because sometimes musk or musc can smell a little animalic, and I've always been a fan of the musk that Narciso uses. There's something about this. To me, I do not smell anything remotely musky. This smells like fresh, powdery florals. I believe this does have heliotrope in it, which is a little bit more of a powdery floral. It's just so clean. It's like a clean floral mixed with clean white towels right out of the dryer. It is so comforting. And it's like one of those ones that almost acts like aromatherapy for me. If the day's stressful, it's one of those ones I just smell it and it lifts the mood. Something that really intrigued me with this and why I went through my first bottle so quickly is on the inside of a lot of the Narciso fragrances, they'll have these like little tabs and it'll show you things to layer. A lot of them recommend using Narciso's Pure Musc as a layering piece. Previously, I had been using Juliet Has a Gun, Not a Perfume, because that's a ambroxan-based fragrance, and ambroxan layers really well. This does have the signature Narciso Rodriguez musk, but it layers incredibly well with anything. So it doesn't matter if I'm wearing a Narciso fragrance, Chanel, Dior, or anything. Anything I have, this layers incredibly well with, and it just adds this really comforting, enveloping scent that never feels too heavy. You can layer things with it in winter, spring, summer, or autumn. This for me is, if I only had one Narciso fragrance, it would be Pure Musc. We're just gonna finish off with my Narciso Rodriguez scents. The next Narciso Rodriguez scent we have is from the Narciso line, and this is Poudrée. Poudrée is exactly what it is. It is a clean, fresh, warm, powdery scent. Where Cristal would be more spring, summer, Poudrée would be my winter, autumn scent. This is warm. If you spray too much, it can get heavy. For me, this is like a 3 spray max. If I'm wearing it at night as a layering piece, maybe 4, but that's it. And normally for me, the way I apply this one is when I'm getting ready, I take a note from my Grammy, and she loves her Lancome La Vie Belle. And she says every time when she gets ready, she gives herself one, like she'll hold her arm out, one spritz here in the middle and go for the day. That's what I'll do with this, because sometimes this can be a little heavy, but with the minimal number of sprays I need to achieve the scent bubble that I want, this big bottle is going to last forever. I purchased this one through Fragrance Net, if I'm not mistaken, and this is a tester size. It didn't come with the box or anything, but I think I spent $60 on this, and it is going to last me ages. So it is lovely, it is warm, it is comforting. For me, just be cautious you don't overspray it because it can get a little heavy. My most recent addition to my Narciso Rodriguez collection is another one of the Narciso cube scents, and this is Rouge Eau de Parfum. And for me, this is one I have seen a few times in Shoppers Drug Mart, and I had smelled it and I was okay. I was like, I like this, but it wasn't high on my priority list of fragrances to purchase. Then I saw a video from Yana of the Scented. She talked about this being a really lovely lipsticky scent, and oh my goodness, this does have that signature Narciso Rodriguez musk in it, but it also has powdery notes. It does have iris, and it also, something about this creates this slightly waxy lipsticky scent, which I love. And if you know me, one of my favorite fragrances of all time is from the Maison Margiela replica range, and it's called Lipstick On. It's been discontinued. I have a full bottle that I am cherishing and hanging on to because I love it so much and I want to find something comparable to it. So far, this is very, very close. It's not exact, but it is really, really lovely. It's so good. This is only the small bottle, and I don't know, if I didn't have such an expansive fragrance collection, this would be on my list to purchase in a larger size. If I go through this quickly, next time I will get a larger size, but this is beautiful. Another powdery scent that I love, and it's happiness in a bottle, and something I do wear on occasion as a bedtime scent when I want to feel fancy, but this is like a 1 spray max bedtime scent. This is from Guerlain, and this is Insolence Eau de Parfum. I love this so much. This is very much a fresh, powdery, candied violet scent. In a way, it reminds me of sweet tarts, like the little heart-shaped candies that you'll sometimes get in Valentine's Day. It smells like that. It's so beautiful. It's so comforting. In retrospect, I do wish I would have purchased the Eau de Toilette concentration because I feel like that would have been a little bit better for nighttime wear, but 1 spray of this is also really, really great. This isn't necessarily a perfume I like to wear out just because for me, there's something very comforting and cozy. It doesn't really kind of meet my needs for going out into the world, but for at home, this is a great around the house scent for me. It's Guerlain. It's expensive. I believe this is around, it's either 120 or 150 Canadian, and this is the 75 milliliter size, and it's pricey for around the house, but for me it just does the trick, and it is lovely and so comforting. It's definitely on my perfume tray in regular rotation. Next is a newer scent to my collection, but it was one that I fell in love at first smell. If you've been around for my channel for the last 2 years, we have been going back and forth between Toronto and Virginia quite a bit because my mom, we found out she had cancer. She's been going through cancer treatment. Thank goodness she has beat cancer. She's currently going through some surgeries to finish off the end of her cancer journey. We stop at duty free a lot. I love duty free, whether it is picking up maple syrup for some of my American friends or just stopping to stretch our legs and smell some fragrances. When I was walking through there, I saw this bottle and the bottle captured me. But first, let's take a look at what the packaging is. Signature from Mont Blanc. What got me is the bottle is this really beautiful faceted white bottle, and you have this like little pop-on cap that says Mont Blanc with the signature kind of spoke wheel. This is a fascinating scent because this does have a very similar to Narciso Poudrée, where it is like a powdery, warm scent. This is also quite vanilla. I'm not normally a big vanilla lover. When it comes to vanilla, I do have two body creams with vanilla. I have the Philosophy Fresh Cream, and then I have Midnight Amber Glow from Bath and Body Works. And that's something I only like to use those in very select situations. For Mont Blanc Signature has become my first thing in the morning scent. If I'm going to wake up, go for a walk, do a little bit of stretching downstairs, this has almost become like at-home gym scent, because over the last year, I've tried to incorporate more physical activity to get healthier into my everyday routine, because I want to take care of the body that I'm in and feel good that I'm in the body I'm in. And adding a fragrance really helps me to get in the mood. And when I was at duty free, this was 155 Canadian dollars. I bought this again on fragrance scent and I spent $30. Go online, get it on discount. It is beautiful. It only lasts for about 5 to 5.5 hours, but for $30, I'm not mad at that. It is more vanillic. If you are not someone who loves vanilla, definitely smell this before you buy it. I do not really advocate blind buying, because let me tell you what, over this last year, I have spent way too much money on some blind buys that I deeply regret. Don't do what I do. Smell it before you buy it whenever you can. And if you like something that's slightly powdery, slightly musky, with a really beautiful creamy vanillic base, check out Mont Blanc Signature Eau de Parfum. Last but not least, we have one from Chanel. And I have struggled with Chanel for years. My introduction to like high-end fragrances back in like 2012, I believe. It was either 2012 or 2011, was from Chanel. At that time, I was working for an Estee Lauder counter at Belk, which is a little southern department store in the United States. And we used to have these competitions to where if you would get credit card applications, they would give you a free bottle of fragrance. It was normally like a tester bottle. I got a few credit card applications one day, and I was gifted a bottle of Bleu de Chanel, and for years that was one of my favorite scents. And now maybe it's because my brothers wear it, but I find it really heavy, and it's one of those scents that I just feel like I've smelled way too much over the year, because like I've got friends who their husbands wear it, as I said, my brothers wear it, and it's just, for me, it's a little too heavy for my personal taste. And my scent taste has changed over the last 12 years, and that's just not my vibe. And then some of the classic ones like Number 5, Mademoiselle, aren't my taste, and I just find them a little heavy, especially like those and some of the more classic like Dior scents, and even like Guerlain Shalimar. Those fragrances, there's something about it, it's like it hits me in my sinuses, and then just everything feels very overwhelmed. I was suggested this range from Chanel, and the range is called Les Eaux, which is the waters. This is a group of eau de toilettes from Chanel, and they're inspired from some of the different journeys and travels that Coco Chanel took. The first one I purchased was Paris, which I think is the most recent addition. It's really pretty. It's a light, fresh, floral scent. It doesn't last very well. For me, it lasts about 4 hours. That's after I use the shower gel and the body lotion. And I purchased the large size. This is the 50 ml size. If I'm not mistaken, the large size is 200 ml. So between the body lotion, the shower gel, and the larger bottle of fragrance, you're pushing almost $300. I do not suggest it because it doesn't last. And like, it's pretty, but it doesn't spark joy. When I purchased Paris, I also got a bunch of samples. And from the samples, I fell in love with Paris Hindenburg. It was really beautiful. Again, I purchased it, and I purchased the large 200 ml size. It was okay, but for me, as it kind of warms up and meshes with my skin, I smell like pine sol. It turns into this very heavy, masculine scent, and I felt like a lumberjack, and that's not my vibe. It would have been like my vibe like 10 years ago. Now it's a little too much. So one of my friends said she really loved juniper berries, and I'm like, take a smell of this. What do you think? She's like, oh my goodness, I love it. I'm like, great, I will bring you a full bottle. And she's like, are you sure? And I said, yeah, I've sprayed it twice. It's just not for me. And she's like, I love it. I will happily take it off your hands. I'm like, perfect. So what do? I go online, I buy her the shower gel when Holt Renfrew, which is like a luxury Canadian department store, they were having a beauty sale. So all fragrance was 15% off. With the 15% off, I bought her the shower gel. So I'm gonna bundle that with the perfume and give it to her when I see her for Christmas. And that leads me to the one I have now. And I still have Paris. I just don't reach for it very often because of longevity. And it's very much a spring summer scent, more of like a late spring, early summer scent if we're being real exact. The one I have now is Paris Vanille. And this is, the fragrance profile is not something I would have ever taken 2 looks at because I'm not a huge citrus lover. And the top of this has got pretty much all the citruses you can think of. It's a very citrus heavy top, but then the base and the mid are very powder. They're very sensual. There's a little bit of, there's something in it that smells very powder. If I'm not mistaken, I think it has iris or violet or maybe both in it. I think it also has rose in the mid. There's something about it that is just so cozy and so comforting. It again has a very, very similar effect to Fleur de Iris from Solinotes, where it smells like a luxurious body cream. This smells like the luxurious body cream I would wear if I was in Miami or if I was in somewhere warm and tropical where I wanted to feel cocooned, like I had just taken a nice luxurious shower, applied a really beautiful body lotion, but I had a scent that lingered. This for me is that type of scent, and this is the smaller size. The smaller size is 50 ml. These are still, I think these are like $130, 130 or 150, I'm not sure. For Chanel, it's a decent price point. And this one does last a little bit longer. This lasts on me for about 6 hours. I love it so much. Without a doubt, when this runs out, I will be purchasing the 200 ml size, and more than likely I'll probably also at some point purchase the shower gel and the body lotion because it is that good, and I would love to extend the scent as far and as long as I can. I love it so, so much. And that wraps up fragrances. The other part of this video I wanted to talk about today is going to be nail care. This year, I've really gotten into taking care of my hands because it started off when I started with YouTube because I noticed sometimes where I smoked, my fingers would look yellow. And I'm like, ooh, that's offensive to me watching the video. And I don't know if anyone else noticed it. I noticed it and it bothered me. And before I would sit down to record a video, I had a nail file filing the side of my fingers, scrubbing my fingers with toothpaste and just doing everything I could to make my fingers less yellow on camera. And then, you know, when I quit smoking, that went away very quickly and now no issues, but I enjoy taking care of my hands. And a lot of my friends always suggest that I go get my nails done. They're like, why do you take so much time every week to do your nails when you can go get them done? And for me, I've mentioned before, I got my cosmetology and aesthetics license in the US when I was younger. Then when we moved to Canada, I took another aesthetics course so I could practice aesthetics here in Canada. And part of both those courses is nail care. I know how to do my own nails, whether I'm doing acrylic, whether I'm doing gel. I like regular polish because I do not have the patience to sit and soak or file my own nails off. So I just use basic polish to paint my nails. And I love the ritual of doing it every week. And then I also love, there was a YouTube channel called The Salon Life. She used to actually have a salon here in Canada, and she's all about gentle manicures. And I love watching her videos. I feel like I've learned so much from watching her channels that in some ways it feels like it's gone above and beyond what I learned in nail school. Now, she doesn't really go into all the details about different funguses and things to look out for and all that stuff. It's very much like the techniques and skills to take care of your nails at home. She's all about gentle manicures, and I feel like it's really changed the way I take care of my nails. And now let's just talk about the products that I love to work into my weekly gentle manicures. I have some ridging in my nails, but I like my nails to look as smooth as possible because that's something I love about gel and acrylic. You get that nice smooth layer. And for me, I always like to use my ridge filling base coat. My favorite ridge filling base coat is the Essie Smooth-e. This is something I like to give a really good shake, and then I apply 1 to 2 thin coats all over my nails, let it fully dry down to it's nice and matte and it feels dry to the touch. Then I can proceed with my color coats. I think this is my 3rd bottle of this year, and it lasts for a little while. My only issue, and this is with most nail polishes, I feel like when it gets down to like a 4th of the bottle, it gets a little bit harder, so then I end up just having to purchase another one, and that's that. But I love this so much. It is one of the most beautiful, smoothing prep basis for any nail color from any brand, but I'm a huge fan of the Essie brand for colors. The nail color I have on today is a little bit of an experiment because I love layering nail polishes to create new effects. And through the first half of this year, I was all about Essie. And then one day I was on on Olive Young and I saw these nail polishes and I'm like, why not? Let's buy them. And I have to say, they are some of the most beautiful nail polishes. These are both from the brand 3CE and they are from the Split Second collection. The lighter of the two shades is called Pink Droplet. And then one of the colors I have on today, which is the deeper shade, this is called Mauve Sphere. These are both more sheer polishes. You can layer them up. I feel you can get a pretty opaque finish with 3 coats. For me, I normally leave it at 1 or 2 coats, and I normally layer it over something more opaque just to shift the color a little bit. I love these, and these also are quite, the way the formula is, it kind of glides over the nails, and it also does really good for filling in ridges and making things look smoother. I love these. If I'm not mistaken, they were both around $12 a piece on Olive Young. A nail polish brand that I used to be head over heels with, and as I've gotten older, as I've experienced newer brands and different brands, I've kind of fallen out of love with it, and that is OPI. OPI was a classic. I don't know, something about their formula doesn't feel as superior, as innovative as they used to be. But when I saw they were doing a collection with the Barbie movie, I had to try something. So I purchased the shade Bon Voyage to Reality. I am always on the hunt for the perfect white or off-white shade because a pure white can just feel a little too heavy, almost like I took a white out and painted my nails. The shade Bon Voyage to Reality, off-white mixed with a milky pink. So you get this really beautiful pinkish off-white, and it's so beautiful. This does require at least 2 coats because the first coat is going to be pretty streaky and the second coat kind of fills in all the patches and makes it look really nice. I have 2 coats of this on, followed by 1 coat of Mauve Sphere, and then 1 coat of a Dark Horse that came out of nowhere this year. This is from the brand rom&nd, and rom&nd is another K-beauty brand, and this has a very similar jelly finish. This shade is called Misty Way, and this is from their Milk grocery collection. I fell in love with this collection. I ended up buying the entire collection. This was the standout. Only downside is all the names are in Korean, so I take one of those like little paint markers and I write the name on the back. So this one is called Misty Way, and I have this on my nails as like a topper. So this is like a sheer, slightly opalescent topper, and it has a mix of blue, purple, and pink sparkles. It gives a very wet, glossy shine to the nail, and I love this so much. I layer it over everything, and this is actually the second bottle, and that's quite alarming because I purchased my first bottle, I think in May of this year, and I've gone through a whole bottle, and here's my second one. I purchased these here in Toronto at a little Japanese like living store called Omomo, and these are around $10 a piece, and I love them so much. Well, they're either $8 or $10. I can't remember. They're very affordable though. I really, really enjoy them. One and only top coat that I love, and that is from Essie, and this is the Speed Setter top coat. This is getting to that point where it's about halfway finished, and it's a little bit harder when you've got your brush out and you're trying to like do your nails and paint because only the very tip of it's getting in. So that's when I get to the point where I'm like turning it to the side, trying to work it in so I can get a nice even coat. What I love about this polish is you can float on a nice thin coat and your nails are fully dry and they have a glass-like shine. It is so beautiful. It is my favorite top coat, and of all the speed setters I've tried, this is my favorite along with Seche Vite. Seche Vite just has a very strong smell that over the last few months, as my sense of smell has changed, I can find Seche Vite to be a little overwhelming, and I find it gets quite gummy quite quickly. And then to finish off my favorites for 2023 and my favorite for finish off a nail care routine is the C&D Solar Oil. I like to finish off my nail routine with this. This helps boost your dry time a little bit, and it helps to nourish and kind of feed the skin around your nails to make everything look nice and taken care of, so you can kind of keep the like little dry, crusty, callus bits at the side of your nails at bay. I cannot wait to see what you all say, because this is a lot of stuff we don't normally talk about here on my channel, but it's stuff that has brought me so much joy over this past year. And speaking of things that bring me joy, My YouTube channel has brought me so much joy this year. I haven't uploaded a ton of videos. I think this year I might have finished off with, I think, 40 videos, like 39 or 40 videos, if I'm not mistaken, for all of 2023. And this year, it's been a tough year. There's been a lot of self-development going on. Mental health has been back and forth, and it's been hard to be consistent. But for me, in my mind, it's really set up for a successful 2024, and it's helped put me in a better spot so I can give more content to all of you in the coming year. So thank you all so much for being there. I can't thank you enough. I'm so happy that, you know, back in 2021, I got over the nerves and turned the camera on and recorded and posted my first video. So I can't wait to share this video with you, as well as all the other favorite videos I've recorded, and see what 2024 has in store for us. So until the next video, take care of yourself wherever it is you are in the world, and I will see you later. I'm going to get emotional now. Okay, bye y'all.